Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know that feeling when you open up a massive patch note list, and it feels less like an update and more like a pop quiz on priorities?
Oh yeah, that's exactly where we are today.
The Black Desert Online Asia THSEA region just launched an absolutely staggering collection of content simultaneous with the October 2, 2025 server maintenance.
It's not just big, it's kind of like a strategic information challenge, right? We've got 5 distinct simultaneous events running different durations.
Right.
And all that overlaid on a pretty substantial 1.66 gigabit quality of life and class balance patch.
So for you, the learner, the mission today, well, it's simple but crucial. We need to synthesize all this data.
Exactly. What is the absolute best route for character growth, getting items, making some quick silver, especially when everything is happening at once?
We're going to try and cut through the noise. We have these massive hot time buffs running alongside, high-end treasure component quests, a festival to practically print silver, and these foundational permanent changes to gear setup and class balance.
So our focus is prioritization. Definitely.
Yeah. What do you have to do in this first week, and what can maybe wait until like the end of the month? Let's start with the biggest, most immediate opportunity.
Yeah.
Just raw character growth.
Okay, let's unpack this autumn growth period. It's a 2-week window, right?
Right.
Starting October 2nd, wraps up October 16th.
Correct.
And it really feels designed to be the level up moment of the season. The headline: a 1,000% increase in combat EXP across all servers.
1,000%. Yeah. That number, it isn't just a boost. It's like hitting the accelerator hard.
Totally.
If you've been kind of stalled on the road to level 63 or 64, or maybe you're a newer player just trying to hit that soft cap, 61 or 62, get those critical skill points, this is your green light, definitely. But we need to look beyond just the combat experience, because the hot time, it's layered, right, with other benefits that are just as important.
Right, like if you're grinding, you're also getting a 400% boost to skill EXP. Yeah, and that's often the quiet bottleneck once you hit those higher levels. Just the sheer number of skill points you need to fill out your Succession or Awakening builds. Gets crazy.
It really does.
And for our listeners who are also investing in life skills, or maybe even just optimizing their inventory weight and stuff, there's a 100% boost to life EXP. This includes leveling up your mounts. But it's important to remember the sources do say trade skill is still excluded from this boost.
Good point.
And maybe most critical for making those grinding hours actually pay off financially, a guaranteed 100% item drop rate increase.
Okay, that drop rate increase, that fundamentally changes where you should even be grinding, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It makes those like marginal high-end zones, places where maybe before you struggled with silver per hour because the Drock RNG was just bad.
Yeah, totally.
Makes them much more viable. For the next 2 weeks, pretty much everywhere is potentially a high-profit zone.
So this is where we talk strategy and stacking buffs. You mentioned the 1,000% hot time.
Right.
Now, we immediately need to layer on the Black Spirit training synergy.
Yeah.
Using the Scarecrows.
Yeah.
Through NPC Jamie Driger.
Exactly. You do that, you get an additional static 50% combat EXP and 50% skill EXP bonus on top.
Okay, so let's actually map out the total stack for combat EXP, just so it's clear. You've got the massive 1,000% hot time.
Yep.
Plus the 50% from Black Spirit training. Then if you pop, say, a 600% combat EXP scroll, which, let's be honest, most players have a bunch of.
Shout out, yeah.
You are looking at phenomenal returns. You should really be prioritizing zones where monster density is highest,
Right.
where you can keep pulling and killing constantly.
That's the core advice, definitely. Maximize your active time in those 2 weeks because every minute is super leveraged. However, we have to throw in a necessary warning here about the skill EXP stacking.
Ah, okay. What's the catch?
Well, while the combat EXP from the training book combat,
We've
3
got-
days, that you get from the autumn challenge-wise menu layers beautifully with scrolls, the training book skill reward you can get, it works differently. It often does not stack effectively with other experience scrolls.
Oh, that's a critical distinction. That means if your main goal is just skill points, you really need to check which scrolls are actually working when you activate that Black Spirit skill training.
You got it. Don't waste valuable skill-based scrolls if the system buff isn't going to stack with them. You got to check the item effects.
Read the buff descriptions, basically. Make sure you're not accidentally overwriting something instead of amplifying it.
Exactly. It's a common pitfall. Easy to miss.
Okay. Now let's talk about the shortest, most urgent event, the Short Run Daily Challenge. This only runs for 7 days, October 2nd to October 8th.
Yeah, very short window.
And the effort required is, well, It's literally just connecting to the game once a day. That's it.
This is like textbook high impact, low investment. It's basically free stuff for logging in.
So what do you get?
Your guaranteed daily utility items. You get item drop rate scrolls, floor and secret books, useful stuff. But the real, like, hidden gem for the learner who's trying to build up their account infrastructure, it's in the specific consumables.
Tell me about the contribution EXP specifically. The sources mention the event Delicious Fried Food gives plus 1,000 contribution EXP. That sounds kind of small.
It sounds small, but it's really not trivial at all. Contribution point CP, they are so often the hidden bottleneck in the mid-game. You know?
Oh yeah, for nodes and housing.
Exactly. They fund your entire node network, your housing, renting good alchemy tools, even some gear from NPCs. For a new adventurer, grinding out 7,000 CP experience normally, that takes many, many hours of doing frankly boring low silver quests.
Sure.
Getting 1,000 CP daily just for logging in for a week, that's effectively free territory expansion. It lets you immediately start funding a high value node investment, maybe like those rare materials nodes in Land of the Morning Light, without that grind cost.
Okay, that makes sense. So the first week priority for literally every player, doesn't matter what your gear score is, log in daily for the CP and drop scrolls.
Absolutely.
And maximize that 1,000% combat EXP window for raw levels while it's active.
That's the foundation for the first 2 weeks. Guaranteed progress, guaranteed utility. Can't beat it.
All right, so if Section 1 was all about that immediate character progress levels and stuff, Section 2 shifts gears. This is about the long-term, high-value prestige items, the infinite treasures.
The big ones.
We're talking about the Ella Serban's Energy event. This one runs much longer, October 2nd all the way to October 29th.
Yeah, a full month.
Yeah.
And this event is basically a direct accelerator if you're an endgame player. Or maybe someone who just started hunting for things like the Infinite Potion, the Compass, or that elusive Rich Merchant's Ring.
The structure seems pretty smart. It incentivizes both, like general grinding and the really hard content.
It really does. Over the 4 myths, one family can earn up to 28 of these event scenic painting color choice boxes, which is a lot.
28 chances. Okay, let's break down how you actually get those boxes. 2 repeatable weekly quests, right? The first one sounds easier.
Yeah, the first one is definitely the more accessible one. Event weekly mysterious power absorbed by monsters.
Okay, what's the objective?
You just need to defeat 2,000 monsters, which, you know, for a high-level character grinding efficiently, that's maybe an hour or 2, a bit longer for someone newer. It's very doable.
Where do you pick it up?
Just grab it from the Black Spirit menu, you finish killing the mobs, turn it in, and boom, 4 scenic painting choice boxes.
4 boxes just for doing what you'd probably be doing anyway, grinding.
Pretty much. It means even a relatively casual player can snag 16 guaranteed treasure components across the month just by keeping up their normal grind. That's a huge head start.
Okay, now the second quest. This sounds like the high-stakes one. It pushes players into the Land of the Morning Light Black Shrine challenges. Event weekly mysterious power absorbed by Huanghe city bosses.
Yeah, this one's aimed squarely at the endgame, folks. You accept the quest, again, from the Black Spirit, then you have to complete 3 separate challenge difficulty Black Shrine boss quests.
And challenge difficulty means hard.
Oh, yeah. These are the bosses that demand serious gear, knowing the mechanics inside and out, high damage. We're talking Bulgasol, Blue Boy, Jikwi, former Crown Prince, those guys.
Gotcha. So it's not just any Black Shrine boss.
No, has to be challenge difficulty, and when you beat 3 different ones, they drop these event mysterious color energy items. You need 3 of those.
Then you turn those in to the Black Spirit.
Right. Submit them via the quest interaction window, W, and your reward is 3 more of those super valuable choice boxes.
3 more. So if you can handle the challenge difficulty bosses, you absolutely have to prioritize this weekly reset.
100%. Not only are you getting closer to your infinite item, but those challenge bosses also drop unique accessories and crafting materials from the Lautamel region anyway, so it's like double dipping on rewards.
So doing this every week gets you another 12 boxes over the month. Combined with the grinding quest, that's the 28 total.
Exactly. Max potential is 28 boxes per family.
Okay, let's talk value. Why are these choice boxes such a big deal? You mentioned bypassing RNG.
Precisely. Normally, you're stuck camping a specific, often high-level grind zone for potentially hundreds of hours, just praying for that tiny, tiny chance at one specific treasure piece dropping.
The endless grind.
These boxes, they let you skip that agony entirely. You just choose the exact color component you need for one of 4 major treasures.
Okay, let's walk through the options the sources mention. What if you're going for the compass or the map?
All right, so if you're chasing the upgraded telescope parts, you can pick colors that normally drop in places like Tungrad Ruins, Dark Follower's Haunt, or the City of the Dead.
Okay.
For the upgraded compass, you're looking at colors from Histria Ruins and Akman Temple, those classic desert grind spots.
Right. Familiar pain points.
And then for the archaeologist's map, the components come from Sulphur Mine and Pilaku Prison. Again, more desert zones known for. Let's call it testing your patience.
Yeah, putting it mildly. So these cover a lot of the really common, frustrating farms. But that last option for the ring seems like it covers the really high-end stuff.
It really does. The choice for the rich merchant's ring component. Arguably the most valuable selection in the entire event for many players. It covers parts linked to 5 different really demanding high-end grind spots.
5. Which ones?
Sikria Underwater Ruins, upper level, Paddock's Island, Ash Forest, Sunken Tomb, and Olin Valley.
Wow, Ash Forest and Olin's in there. It's huge.
It's amazing. If you're actively grinding for the Merchant Ring, these boxes are a direct subtraction from the grinding hours needed. It lets you focus your energy, maybe pick off the piece you need from the zone you absolutely hate grinding.
Yeah, like maybe you already got the Sikria piece, but dread going back to Ash Forest.
Exactly. So, strategic advice here. If you've already got a few pieces for the ring, use these choice boxes to fill the slots that drop in the most painful zones for you. Save yourself that specific brand of RNG torture.
Good tip. Okay, mechanically, how does a player actually use these rewards once they pick a color? The notes seemed a bit fiddly.
Yeah, you don't need to memorize the exact clicks. The main thing is, after you choose your color component from the box, you activate the scenic painting effect. There's an Ella Serban icon usually near the top of the screen.
Okay.
You click that, tick a box in the UI that pops up, then right-click the UI element itself. It sounds complicated, but the key takeaway is this applies a temporary but powerful drop bonus specifically to the hunting area associated with the component color you chose.
Ah, so it helps you farm the actual piece, too.
Right. It makes your future grinding in that specific zone more effective. You can even check which zones are currently affected by looking for the hashtag Ellis Serban Scenic Painting hashtag in the hunting area info menu in-game. The game helps you focus.
Okay, that makes sense. This whole section really throws that central dilemma into sharp relief, doesn't it?
Totally.
Do you spend your limited playtime on the guaranteed, massive 1,000% EXP boost that ends pretty soon on the 16th? Or do you dedicate more time to this high RNG but potentially game-changing treasure hunt that lasts longer till the 29th?
It's the classic BDO choice, right? Guaranteed short-term gains versus the long-shot high-value prize. And that dilemma is precisely why we need to talk about the Edenia Gear catch-up event next, because this is aimed directly at solving the gear progression problem for newer or returning players.
Okay, good timing.
The Edena Special Boss Challenge also runs for just those 2 weeks, October 2nd to October 16th, same time as the big EXP rush.
And the goal here is clear. Give players a guaranteed path towards Edena defense gear.
Exactly. The objective is basically to do a sweep, find and defeat 5 weakened Edena event bosses. You know, Jordine, Lusolgar, and Scylla, Cartian, Caphras, each in their respective Edena castle. Aetherian, Nymphomara, Orbita, Tenebram, Zephyros.
What really stands out from the notes is the accessibility. They specifically say these bosses are weakened enough that you can beat them using PEN v Tuvala gear.
Yes, that's a huge deal. If you just finished the most recent season, you are basically equipped and ready to tackle this content and get a leg up into semi-endgame materials. It's a massive confidence booster for the learner.
So how do you start this? Is there a quest chain?
Yep. You need to accept the main quest first. It's called Event Full Moon Shines Over Edenia from the Black Spirit. That unlocks the 5 follow-up sweep quests, 1 for each boss. You can track them in the quest window under New Quest.
And the rewards are guaranteed, right? No RNG involved here.
Guaranteed, which makes this an absolute must-do for anyone who isn't already sitting at the gear cap. Completing each of the 5 boss sweep quests gives you 5 Edena fragments. Guaranteed.
So that's 25 fragments total from the whole chain.
Correct.
Now, for someone maybe not familiar with the whole Edenia system, why are these fragments so important? What do they do?
Okay, so Edena defense gear. Think of it as a high AP alternative to the more common blue-grade gear you might use in the mid-game. These fragments are the main currency you need to craft that gear, or enhance it later on.
So 25 fragments is a solid head start on building those pieces.
Definitely. Especially since those pieces often have better base stats than other options at that gear level. And it's not just the fragments, they're also giving out other useful enhancement materials with each quest completion.
Oh yeah, like what?
Things like Shining Fire Ore, sharp black crystal shards, sealed black magic gems, pure Caphras water, and even a 1000G gold bar.
Wow, okay. So it's just a nice injection of general utility items needed for enhancing any gear, really.
Exactly. Helps you progress overall, not just with the Adana set.
I see the value in the gear and materials for sure.
Yeah.
But Edania, it's a huge region, right?
Right.
And kind of complex to navigate, especially for a new player. Going to 5 different castles sounds like it could be a pain.
That's a fair point, and the developers clearly thought about that fiction.
Did they add something to help?
They absolutely did, and honestly, this is phenomenal QL. They introduced specialized travel assistance quests. But here's the key. They're only available to players who haven't already activated the Deep Abyss vein in the outer Edenia area.
Meaning basically new players who haven't really explored there yet.
Precisely. So if you're new, you accept Event Lonely Power of Edenia from the Black Spirit. Then you just talk to Igor Bartali in Vilidia.
The old guy near the storage.
That's him. Talk to him, and bam! You're instantly teleported to Hagen's Sanctuary right in the heart of Edenia, ready to start your boss hunt.
No longboat trips. No getting lost in the desert trying to find the right portal.
Nope, none of that. It removes a massive psychological barrier, Makes it way less intimidating.
That's actually huge. And what about getting back?
Just as easy. Once you've done the boss sweep, you take another quest from the Black Spirit, Event Edenia Return to Peace. Then you talk to an NPC named Baram near where you arrived, and poof, back to Velia.
Okay, that's brilliant. It's basically the devs saying, look, we want you focused on fighting the bosses and getting the loot, not wrestling with the travel.
Exactly. It streamlines the whole catch-up process incredibly well. So for new players, this 2-week window combining the Dana Fragments event with that massive 1000% EXP boost that really should be their absolute primary focus. Get those levels, get that starter gear set.
Okay, we've hit grinding, we've hit gear catch-up. Now let's talk about wealth. Passive income, specifically.
Yes, the Donghua Festival. Also running alongside the 2-week hot time, October 2nd to 16th. And this is basically a gift to life skillers and anyone who likes to AFK fish.
Why is that? What's the deal?
It's a massive temporary distortion of the in-game fishing economy for 2 weeks. While you're fishing in any area, literally, you could be AFK fishing in Vilia Harbor while you're at work or sleeping.
Okay.
Players have a chance to catch 3 special types of koke fish. There's the regular event koke fish, the event sunset koke fish, and the real jackpot, the event twilight koke fish.
Koke fish. Okay. Let's focus on the value. What do these sell for?
This is where it gets kind of crazy. They sell directly to NPC vendors for 10 million, 30 million, and a whopping 100 million silver, respectively.
100 million for one fish.
100 million silver for the Twilight Koke fish. Catching just one of those while you're AFK, that's basically a massive daily silver injection that completely bypasses the central market taxes and fluctuations.
Wow.
Even if you just catch, say, 10 of the regular 10 million silver ones overnight, that's still 100 million silver earned passively. For a learner struggling to afford Caphras stones or basic gear repairs, this is a huge financial safety net for 2 weeks.
Okay, that's definitely worth setting up AFK fishing for. Now, beyond just the passive silver, there's a one-time quest associated with this festival that sounds like everyone should do it immediately.
Oh, absolutely mandatory. Regardless of your playstyle, the reward is just too good to ignore.
What's the quest?
It's called Event Donghua's Festival Preparation. You pick it up from NPC Donghua, who's hanging out near Tranin Underfoe in Velia.
And the objective. Is it hard?
Laughably easy. You just need to deliver 5 of the regular event koke fish, the 10 million silver ones. Just 5.
5 fish, okay. And the reward for that? You mentioned a box.
Yep, you get the Event Abundant Chuseok Festival box, and trust me, it lives up to the name Abundant.
So what's inside this box that makes it so essential?
It's basically an instant gear enhancement safety net. It contains 500 cronstones.
500.
500 cronstones, plus an Advisive Vox, plus 100 fail stack, 2 max old moon scrolls, 5 Florence secret books, 5 item drop scrolls, and 5 100G gold bars, just for good measure.
Okay, yeah, 500 cronstones alone makes that quest non-negotiable. That's huge for anyone trying TET or Penitams or even just building fail stacks without going broke.
Exactly. It gives you the resources to protect those super expensive enhancement attempts without having to shell out pearls or grind for weeks just to gather the crons.
The box also comes with a furniture item, right? The Event Chuseok Festival Feast Table. What's the benefit there?
Right, the feast table. It's a placeable furniture item for your house, and interacting with it gives you a pretty potent 2-hour buff.
What kind of buff?
It gives life skill mastery plus 100, life EXP plus 50%, and max weight plus 100 LT. Really solid for a dedicated gathering or processing session. If you want to power level a life skill for a couple of hours, this is great.
Nice. Any catches?
Yes, one important one noted in the sources. This buff is exclusive. It does not stack with other furniture buffs, like the common beast spirit blessings you might get from other tables.
Ah, okay. So you use this instead of other furniture buffs, not on top of them.
Correct. Plan to use this table when you're ready to commit a full 2 hours to maximizing that specific life skill output.
Got it. So once you've done that one-time quest and gotten the massive box, the festival still has weekly quests running.
It does. And these weeklies force you into an interesting choice. Prioritize combat buffs or life skill buffs for the week.
How does that work?
There's a weekly quest called Event Weekly Dongwa's Request. It resets every Wednesday at the usual time, 23.000 DH. You just deliver some more Koke fish to Dongwa.
And the reward is a choice.
Exactly. You get to pick between getting 2 of the Event Leap Development buffs, which are focused on combat PvE, or 2 of the Event Shrewd Butler buffs, which are focused on life skills.
And both buffs last for 10 hours each. That's a long time.
10 hours, yeah. So you really need to choose based on what you plan to do for a significant chunk of playtime.
Okay, what's the appeal of the Leap Development buff?
Leap Development is designed to synergize really well with the ongoing Hot Time. It gives you combat EXP plus 300%, skill EXP plus 30%, item drop plus 10%, and max weight plus 100 LT.
So basically making the already insane 1000% hot time even more effective if you're still grinding hard during those first 2 weeks.
Precisely. It's a fantastic supplementary boost for grinding levels or loot.
And the alternative, the Shrewd Butler choice.
That's for the life skiller who's maybe done with the intense combat push or just prefers gathering or fishing. Shrewd Butler offers life skill mastery plus 50, life EXP plus 20%, max weight plus 100 LT, and maybe most interestingly, a 10% reduction in auto fishing time.
Ooh, faster AFK fishing for those Koke fish.
Exactly. Or just generally boosting your mastery if you're trying to hit a new gathering bracket or processing more efficiently.
But the crucial warning about stacking still applies here, right?
You're-
You pick one, and it overrides similar buffs.
Absolutely critical point. The sources are very clear. These 2 event buffs, Leap Development and Shrewd Butler, are mutually exclusive. Activating one will require any other similar active event buff.
So no trying to cleverly stack them.
Nope. If you start the week planning to grind mobs, commit to the Leap Development buff for that 10-hour session. If you decide halfway through you'd rather go chop trees, well, activating Shrewd Butler will wipe out your remaining Leap Development time.
Got to choose your path for those 10 hours and stick to it.
Pretty much. Don't waste the duration by switching back and forth impulsively. Plan ahead a bit.
Okay, we've thoroughly covered the temporary events, the big bus, the treasure hunt, the gear catch-up, the fishing festival. Now let's shift gears completely and look at the lasting impact. The permanent changes that came in that 1.66 Gitobi patch.
Right. This is the stuff that sticks around long after the event banners come down. And this is often where you see the developers' longer-term thinking about game balance and usability.
Let's start with class balance adjustments. What were the highlights there?
The overall theme seems to be promoting more sustained and continuous fighting rather than relying purely on short bursts, especially for Meiwa, and in a different way, addressing Hakashin's burst.
Okay, tell me about Meiwa. Sounds like she got some significant buffs.
Yeah, substantial boosts to HP recovery across both main and succession specs. The goal seems to be making her less squishy in extended fights.
The notes mention hardened. Blade of the Hurricane HP recovery jumped from plus 92 up to plus 144.
Exactly. That's like a 50% increase in healing just from that one skill. It makes a real difference in PvE grinding sustain, or even in group PvP where you need to stay in the fight longer.
Any other key Meiwa changes?
Yeah, Chaos, Crimson Wind, the cooldown got slashed from 15 seconds down to 9 seconds, big change. And they removed the flat HP gain on use, but replaced it with HP recovery per hit, plus 88 per hit landed.
So it rewards actively hitting the target, not just using it as a panic heal.
Precisely. It encourages a more aggressive, sustained combat flow. Keep landing hits, keep healing. Even her big passive buff, High Grade, Meiwa's Spirit, got its HP recovery bumped from plus 450 to plus 600. The message is pretty clear. Meiwa is meant to stick around in the fight now.
Okay. What about Dark Knight? Any changes there?
A more subtle change for DK, but still impactful for feel and flow. They removed the cooldown for flow. Vetier's attack specifically when you use it as a link after performing an air attack.
So it just makes combos smoother.
Yeah, basically. It increases the fluidity of her combos, letting DK players keep up pressure and mobility more easily. Should help with PvE clear speed and maybe chasing down targets in PvP.
All right, now let's talk Hashashin Succession. The notes here looked pretty significant, mostly nurse.
Oh, yeah. This is clearly a focused PTP adjustment. They're directly targeting the extremely high burst damage output Hashashin's Succession was known for.
What was the issue there? Too much one-shot potential?
Pretty much, especially when landing specific floating and air attack combos. Good Hashashins could often just delete an opponent almost instantly before they even had a chance to react. So the Dubs came in and nerfed the PTP damage ratios on several key burst skills.
How big were these reductions? Give some numbers.
Okay, so Hardened, Fatal Faith. Its PvP damage ratio got cut from 31.63% way down to 20.99%.
Wow, that's a huge chunk.
It is. Similarly, Hardened, Ridge Slice went from 41.89% down to 31.51%, and Hardened, Piercing Wind dropped from 50.24% to 40.34%. We're talking roughly a 10 percentage point reduction across the board on these core damage skills in PvP.
So what does that mean in practice? Fights just last longer.
Basically, yeah. It likely adds an extra couple of seconds needed to secure a kill in many situations. It gives opponents a slightly wider window to react, use a potion, escape, or counterattack. It pushes Hashashin away from being purely about that initial one-shot combo.
Forces them to rely more on chaining CC and sustain damage, maybe.
Exactly. And supporting that idea of better counterplay and awareness in PvP, they also tweaked Step of Sand.
Invisibility skill.
Yeah. The cooldown went up slightly, from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. But the key change is that now, when the Hashashin uses the skill to disappear, there's a very brief visual effect showing where they were.
Ah, so you can actually track their movement a bit better.
Right. It gives opponents crucial counterplay information. Makes the class feel a bit less frustrating to fight against when they can just vanish without a trace. It's about balancing that awareness game.
Okay, interesting changes. Now, shifting away from class balance. Let's talk about what I think might be the single most important permanent QLO update in this whole patch.
Yeah.
The Monster CC Resistance Standardization.
Oh, agreed. This is huge, especially for learners.
Explain why this matters so much. What was the problem before?
The problem was complexity and cost. Before this patch, almost every high-end grind spot had its own unique, sometimes really weird mix of crowd control effects that the monsters there could hit you with. Stuns, knockdowns, floats, stiffness, freezes, all sorts.
Right, and you had to specifically gear up with resistances for that specific spot.
Exactly. You needed the right resistance crystals, maybe specific gear pieces, expensive alchemy stones. If you didn't perfectly match the required resistances for that zone, you'd just be constantly getting knocked around, stunned, unable to fight effectively. It was a massive barrier to entry for a lot of grind spots.
And probably confusing and expensive to manage different resistance sets.
Totally. There's guesswork sometimes, and just a pain. Now, they've standardized it. Monster status effects are now consolidated into just 3 main resistance groups that you need to worry about. Group 1 is Stun Knockdown, Group 2 is Stun Shock Freeze, and Group 3 is Knockback Float.
So it's much simpler. If a zone uses stun knockdown effects.
You just stack stun knockdown resistance. You don't have to worry about also needing freeze resistance or float resistance for that same zone anymore. It makes gearing way more predictable and manageable.
Can you give a specific example of how much simpler it got for a particular spot?
Sure, the notes mention Thornwood Forest using a Deeser's Lantern. That spot used to require resistance against stun, knockdown, shock, knockback, and float. 5 different things.
Wow.
Now, after the patch, that same spot only requires resistance against knockback float. That's it. Down from 5 types to just 1 group. That is a massive reduction in complexity and the cost of gearing up to grind there effectively.
That's a game changer for accessing higher end spots. And the UI helps now too.
Yep. The hunting area info menu in-game now clearly displays which resistance type group is needed for that specific spot, even for the general grind spots outside of Edenia. No more guessing.
Excellent. Okay, finally, let's quickly touch on the mount and travel QoL adjustments. Sounds like good news for anyone frustrated by autopathing.
Oh yeah. If you've ever set your super fast horse on autopath across the map, only to watch it repeatedly smash into a tiny pebble because it couldn't turn fast enough.
Guilty. Happens all the time.
This patch aims to fix that. They've significantly increased the auto-move turning speed for most mounts to improve stability.
That looks faster.
Horses got their auto-move turning speed tripled, 3x. Camels, the Dulgal elephants, donkeys got doubled, 2x. Even the cute little alpaca got a 1.5x boost.
So smoother, faster, more reliable autopathing overall.
That's the goal. Should be a nice passive time saver for players traveling long distances or just moving between towns. Less getting stuck on random scenery.
And one last small tweak for people using the Magnus fast travel system.
Right. A simple but nice one. After you've completed the main Magnus questline, specifically Magnus Wind of Dawn, you can now interact with the Deep Abyss wells from the outside.
Oh, so you don't have to awkwardly jump into the well first just to open the map and choose your destination.
Exactly. Just walk up to it, interact from the outside, pick your spot, and go. It's a tiny change, but it just makes using the fast travel system that little bit smoother, more fluid.
Nice. Oh, and one quick note on Edenia QL too, something about the weekly bosses.
Yeah, just streamlining that endgame loop. Once you complete a weekly boss purification quest in Edenia now, you can immediately accept the quest for the next purification area from the relevant node manager. Less running back and forth.
Yeah.
Hashtag tag tag outro.
So after digging through all of that,
Yeah.
this massive update, what's the ultimate synthesis? What's the big picture here?
Well, it really feels like this October 2nd patch is a masterclass in balancing things. It's providing both those quick, guaranteed rewards for immediate satisfaction, alongside some really crucial foundational system improvements for the long haul.
Yeah, it feels like they're hitting multiple targets at once.
Definitely. It shows like a dual commitment from the developers, doesn't it? On one hand, they're catering to the veteran players with things like the high-stakes Ellis Urban treasure hunt and those detailed hash and balance tweaks. But at the same time, they're really rolling out the welcome mat for the learner, with that insane 1000% EXP boost and the super streamlined Edenia gear catch-up, including the travel help.
It's trying to serve both ends of the player spectrum. And we also noted a couple things that didn't make it into this patch. The Alchemy Stone rework and the main maid system got postponed. What does that tell us?
I think it signals a clear prioritization of stability right now. The developers probably decided that introducing two potentially massive system overhauls things that could easily introduce server strain or unexpected bugs.
Right, better safe than sorry.
That doing that was less important right now than ensuring the current core content loop, especially with Edenia still being relatively new and all these concurrent events, run smoothly. They seem to be playing it a bit conservative, focusing on shoring up the current experience rather than throwing major new features into the mix just yet.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Which brings us right back to that primary challenge facing you, the listener, this month. We've established that the 1000% combat EXP boost and the Edenia gear catch-up, those both expire on October 16th. Pretty soon.
Yep, only 2 weeks for those.
But the Ellis Urban Treasure Hunt, with those valuable choice boxes, that runs for the entire month until October 29th.
Right. So here's the provocative thought to leave you with. To truly maximize that guaranteed character progression, the levels, the basic gear foundation you arguably need to dedicate the next 2 weeks almost entirely to grinding under that 1000% buff and doing the Edenia boss sweep. But that means you spend significantly less time pursuing the Black Shrine Challenge difficulty bosses for those Ellis Urban boxes, the ones that give you components for permanent game-changing treasure items.
So the question is, given your current gear, your current goals, and your limited playtime, what's the better investment for you? Do you lock in the guaranteed short-term gains, the levels, the immediate gear upgrade from Edenia?
Or do you gamble more of that precious time chasing the low probability but incredibly high-value treasure components from Ellis Urban's weeklies? The ones that could potentially save you hundreds, maybe thousands of grinding hours in the long run.
That really is the definition of a high-stakes Black Desert prioritization puzzle, isn't it?
It absolutely is. Choose wisely.
Indeed. Happy grinding, everyone, and may your Twilight Cookie fish catches be many and your enhancement tabs successful. Thanks for diving deep with us.